When you walk along the street, you have to step carefully, always on the cobbles, so as not to step on the bright, anxious grass blades. Easier if you hold mother's hand and hang on to it that way. You can kick up your toes, but walking fast, you have to tread on too many grass blades. Your poor, hurt, green tongue will shrink under your feet. Maybe that's why those people are so angry and follow us, shaking their fists. They're throwing stones, grown-up people throwing stones. She's walking fast, and we're running her pointed toes sticking out sharp among the poor trodden grass blades, under the shaking folds of the brown cloth dress. Englander, a pebble tinkles along the cobbles. Quick, darling, quick, in the postcard shop. It's quiet. The angry people are outside and can't come in. No, 9. Nicht, Engländer, Amerikanisch, Amerikan. America, vive l'Amérique. She laughs, my dear, they had me right frightened. War on the Veldt, Kruger, Blomfontein, Lady Smith, Queen Victoria, an old lady in a pointed lace cap sent chocolate to the soldiers on Christmas. Under the counter it's dark, and the lady, the nice Dutch lady who loves Americans and has relations in Trent, shows you postcards that shine in the dark, pretty hotels and palaces. Au Creuset Beauchamp, Petit Petit. In the moonlight, ripple under a bridge, and okay, now you need to be quiet, okay? We hurry, wallowing like in a boat in the musty, stably smelling Herdic cab. He kept saying, "What would you do, Lucy, if I were to invite one of them to my table?" They're very lovely people, Lucy, the colored people, and he had cloves in a little silver box and a rye whiskey smell on his breath, hurrying to catch the cars to New York. She was saying, "Oh, Dolly, I hope we won't be late," and Scott was waiting with the tickets, and we had to run up the platform on the 7th Street Depot. And all the little cannons kept falling out of the Olympia, and everybody stooped to pick them up, and the conductor alaboard, "Lady, quickie, lady." They were little brass cannons and were bright in the sun on the platform of the 7th Street Depot. And Scott hoisted us all up, and the train was moving, and the engine bell was ringing, and Scott put in your hand a little handful of brass, tiny cannons just big enough to hold the smallest sized red firecracker at the Battle of Manila Bay, and said, "Here's the artillery, Jack." And he was holding forth in the parlor car. "Why, Lucy, if it were necessary for the cause of humanity, I would walk out and be shot any day." "You would, Jack, would you? Wouldn't you, Porter?" Who was bringing Apollinaries, and he had a flask in the brown grip with a silk initialed handkerchief, always smelled of bay rum. "We gotta go to Havre Grace," he said. "Remember, Lucy, we used to have to ferry across the Susquehanna before the bridge was built? And across Gunpowder Creek, too." "Oh, Kiel a des beaux yeux," said the lady in the seat opposite. But she said that was no way to talk to children, and the little boy felt all hot and sticky, but it was dusk, and the lamb, shaped like half a melon, was coming on dim red, and the train rumbled, and suddenly I've been asleep. And it's black dark, and the blue tassel bobs on the edge of the dark shade, shaped like a melon. And everywhere there are pointed, curved shadows. The first time he came, he brought a melon, and the sun was coming in through the tall lace window curtains. When we cut it, the smell of melons filled the whole room. "No, don't eat the seeds, dearie, they give you appendicitis." But you're peeking out of the window into the black rumbling. Dark, suddenly ranked with squat chimneys, and you're scared of the black smoke and the puffs of flame. The puffs of flame that flare and fade out of the squat chimneys. Potteries, dearie, they work there all night. Who works there all night? Working men and people like their laborers, travailleurs, greasers. You were scared. And now the dark was all tall and all black again. The lamp and the train and the sky and everything had a blue-black shade on it, and she was telling a story about long ago before the World's Fair. Before you were born. And they went to Mexico on a private car on the new international line, and the men shot antelope off the back of the train. Big rabbits, jackasses, they called them. And one night, long ago, before the World's Fair, before you were born, one night, Mother was so frightened on account of all the rifle shots, but it was all right. It turned out to be nothing but a little shooting. They'd been only shooting a greaser that was all. That was in the early days.